life must finally go on. These COVID times has not been easy for any one of us, be it students, teachers, professionals. It has all been disrupted. But I think somewhere we must pick up our lives and start off. But yes, very, very carefully, very, very planned, and having thought about what the repercussions may be if we do not observe certain type of basic precautions. So let's get started on this now. 2020, okay, good, bad, it has been an experience for all of us. But 2021 is what you should focus on now. A lot of questions students ask me, should they be preparing for 2021 or not? My suggestion is you should go for it. I know it's a bit late. You should have started off probably month of July or even June for that matter. We have lost around 3 to 4 months since the lockdown and all the disruptions. But if you start from September, you have approximately about 7 to 8 months, allowing yourself some gap before the prelims and also some time before the main examination in September 2021. So you should start preparing like you are preparing and like you are very serious about the 2021 attempt. And then we can take a call eventually, maybe 1 or 2 months before the prelims examination in 2021. I'm somebody who always discourages reckless attempts. Don't just sit for the examination because it is there. Go through a process, prepare for the examination, and then maybe before the prelims, if you think you are not very well prepared, you can always take a call. But I think you should start preparing. Yes, it will be a bit tight affair, maybe 4-5 hours a day only for GS apart from optionals, but do not delay any further. Another question I think which bothers many of you is, should you be coming to Delhi for preparation or not? Delhi for a long time has been the main hub, the main center where all coaching, all study, you have your libraries here, the books, the faculty support is all in Delhi. Now, if you ask me, these are not the times that we get careless. Coming to Delhi is not a necessary precondition. Earlier, I know the options were limited. You had to come here, stay here in some of the most appalling conditions. But it is no longer a necessary precondition. If you still want to come, that's your choice. But given the options that you have, you can explore a lot of online courses also. I don't think students had such options earlier. And it's a matter of mindset. You'll get used to it eventually. Even online courses will improve, improvise. We also are learning here when we're offering these courses. So prepare for 2021 and start off with the courses that are available for you to study remotely and not necessarily come to Delhi. The civil services examination is one of the most dynamic examinations you can think of. The type of questions that they ask, the type of insights they force out of you, the type of engagement they want out of you, it has changed dramatically. And perhaps today the challenge is much more than what it was 6, 7 or 10 years ago. But unfortunately, the teaching methods, the pedagogy used for engaging students has not changed as rapidly. Students and teachers and institutes have continued to follow some of the older methods, which is based on hardcore classroom delivery alone. But I think we need to incorporate more ways of how students can be engaged, be it sourcing content from the internet, the way we read newspapers, the way answers are written. There has to be a dramatic revolutionary approach if you want to score over the others. At Edukemy, this is one of the objectives that we have. I'm trying to use all my experience, and we have a very nice academic advisor team, very senior professors who understand the subject, who understand the nuances of the examination. And we hope to engage them in developing a course that is following some of the latest trends, not only in terms of teaching, but also in terms of reference for readings. There are 4 things I would like to address. 1, teaching is not simply delivery of the content that you know. Plus, teaching is not only about the class lecture alone. There are reference books, there are articles to be read. Unfortunately, in a typical coaching institute, the students are told and encouraged to refer to notes alone. They're encouraged not to read anything more, and that the 6-7 months of coaching will suffice. There are handwritten notes and there are printed material students are expected to refer. In most cases, these material are not really well conceived and well thought and well drafted. And students are encouraged to read only as much. I differ on this. Maybe this practice was good and sufficient 10-15 years ago when the resources available was not as wide. But today it's a huge world out there, given the internet, given the type of magazines coming up in support of students. So now that learning has, and teaching too, of course, has to be inclusive of all of these things together. And if you're looking at the skills UPSC and the civil service examinations are trying to assess, they're trying to assess the analytical skills of the student. They're trying to assess the understanding level comes from actual reading of those content. So the teaching is not blended to include students' ability of comprehension. The teaching is not encouraging of students investing themselves in this kind of reading. It's always a possibility the students will struggle year after year, attempt after attempt. So that's one of the changes we want to bring in. And my students will tell you how our teaching includes referring to books. We tell students to open up the page number, to read the paragraph, to read the sentences. And as teachers, we have to be in command of and in control of the books that we ask you to refer. Another aspect we want to address is the test series. I must acknowledge that test series are some of the least worked on. Test series are some of the most presumed of the courses that are hardly invested in. Test series are very unimaginatively designed. I was seeing some of the questions that test series ask. The questions are deliberately made difficult so that the students have a sense of great amount of content being asked out of them without really telling them how they can address those questions. If you have been part of my classes in geography, if you have been part of my essay sessions, you would have understood by now how we take lot of time to tell you what is good writing. These are like a simple wisdoms: write crisp, write to the point, write within the word limit, write in organized way, write using illustrations, use case studies. But hardly teachers invest time to show you what is a good answer with these kind of attributes. For almost 2 years now, we have been investing intensely in developing a set of model answers. Our model answers, thankfully, have become one of the most sought after resources. The model answers tell you how an answer has to be written exactly. And these answers are written by some of the best students that we have in our teams. So test writing is not only about giving tests, it's also about preparing you for how to organize all the content and help you write in as much words or the page limit. The third thing I want to get into is that in the preparation process, a very important resource that we tend to overlook is the peer-to-peer interaction and the learning community. Apart from teachers, there are students who are important friends and resources to be used. But our education system and even the pedagogy with which UPSC preparation is done does not encourage or does not have avenue for peer-to-peer interaction. And there are a couple of platforms, but those platforms have ultimately degenerated into discussions which are not really academics or preparation oriented. So we are offering commune systems. We are offering groups on telegrams. We are offering some kind of students community where you get together, discuss, and very importantly, these communities are moderated by us. I personally and my team is there around looking into the type of conversation, looking into the engagement that you guys have. And the fourth important thing that at Edukemy we are investing is how can we keep your momentum in your preparation. We call that as the Edukemy Engage programs, where You have to be part of some kind of activity, some kind of target-based work, so that your work continues with some amount of momentum. But these are the four things Edukemy will be known for and will differentiate itself from the rest of the institutes. To help you and to support you in your preparation, Edukemy is coming up with two webinars, one on 25th of September and another on 9th of October. In the webinar, we will have panelists who have been successful in their previous attempts. Ajay Jain, rank 12. He has been successful this year, 2020, an IAS officer now. And we also will have Sonalika Jiwani with us, 2017 IAS officer of the AGMUT Cadre. It'll be a nice conversation where you can ask your doubts, you can ask your concerns, you can ask them how did they prepare and what exactly can be the process on how you can get going for 2021. So this webinar is for you, 25th of September and 9th of October. Join us and get into conversation. And please do register for the webinar. I'm sure you will learn a lot. See you all on the webinar.